Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance back with another cabinet video. The last time I hung these uppers by myself using the third hand just to show you how I do it when I work alone, which is what I typically do. Since then I have installed the knobs. I got the shelves put in. Also got the receptacle for the microwave put in. And I set my first lower prior to me leaving the other day. So now I'm back. Normally I would go ahead and put the trim and stuff on right now, but it's a little early. I'm gonna be cutting that outside, so I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna go ahead and work on some of these lowers. I was at 34 3/4 on my level line here, 35 over here where my last base is gonna go. So that tells me that this floor is a little bit lower over here than there, which works out good for me because that means I'm gonna need more shims on this side than that side. So that means I can pretty much just start at the right height over here, work my way up to keep everything level instead of having to try to figure out if this was my high spot. I would have had to figure out how much do I need to shim that up so that it ends up being fine over here. So it worked out good for me. I like it better when it works out this way because I wanted to start in that corner. Always want to start against a wall if I can. So, but I'm going to just start cutting these, installing these lowers. The next one's really about the only one with any kind of complications at all, just because you got to cut for, I got a drain, 2 water lines, and a dishwasher receptacle. And then I got a dishwasher going here, small cabinet, range, another cabinet. So it's all about spacing with this one. And I did buy some of those easy level things I've seen several people use on YouTube, as far as you can mount them on the bottom of your cabinets and use some screws through the front of the toe kick to adjust those to get them level. But ends up being, I mean, you're only talking about a 1/4 inch from here to here, and I've got so many spaces between cabinets to where I can get to all 4 corners of a cabinet. I'm not going to waste those on these. It's an expensive deal. I can easily get to everything to shim these up just your standard way. So that's what I'm going to do with that. But just going to take y'all along for the ride again. I'm going to install lowers. My goal is to get done today. Install the lowers, install the trim, put on the countertops, cut the holes for the sink. Then I'm done. I'm ready to go. So. So whenever I'm marking out my lines for my holes for pipes like this, I like to go ahead and measure from my laser line down. I don't like to measure from the floor up because I'm gonna have to shim from the floor up. So then you gotta take in consideration of that. I'm gonna be putting my cabinet to my line, so I know that line is gonna be right here. So that if I measure from that line down to my pipes, I can measure from here down to get exactly where those are gonna go. And then I measure from the side of the cabinet over, but I have to take in that 1/4 inch from the cabinet faces into play. So add that onto my measurements, and then I get where I need to go to. So I'll just drill through the back side until my pilot hole comes out on the inside, and then I swap around to the inside and drill back through so I don't get any blowout for that. So that works out good for me. But let me know in the comments below what technique you use to, kind of lay out your cutouts. See if I can get you all this information one-handed holding the tripod, but I got my level from across here. I'm good on my line as well. I have the 24 plus just a little bit, maybe 24 and a 16th for my dishwasher. Check it at the top and the bottom. And then I also like to run my level across the cabinets and make sure I'm in the same plane, and I'm good there. So this dishwasher, or this little cabinet here, is going to be a little bit of a trick. I'm going to go get some anchor of some kind, maybe even run a deep Tapcon through, because there's block back there, but I don't have a stud over here. Of course, the countertop, once I mount it on top of here and tie it into these, you know, that's going to hold it all together as well. But now it's time just to finish off this one. Now I got to go same thing, gap for the range, then one more, and then that's the last lower. All right, so the countertop's up, and again, I didn't measure for these countertops. The countertops were cut based on the cabinets being made by the cabinet maker. Came and took measurements. I ended up, I'm a little bit long on my cabinet here, but everything's spaced out like it's supposed to be. I got exactly the 24 and a hair inches here for the dishwasher. Got the cabinets in the right spot, so I'm gonna have to shift this countertop down, get that there, but then I have this to put on this end that will allow for that little bit of a gap, you know, that I'm gonna end up having. I really don't like using these, but I guess I will use it here. I have to, so, and it's probably a good thing. It's gonna be kind of close to a sink, but not really. So, but fits, so we're good to go. Now it's a matter of, I'm gonna move down and get this set, range going here, so I need a 30-inch space. Same principle as what I just did with the dishwasher. We'll get that set, and then get this last one set. Countertop is here, and then it's a matter of screwing down countertops, cutting the hole for the sink, and then I'm gonna start working on this trim, get this thing finished up. So you can see we're at 0. I got my laser kissing the top, just like everywhere else. My plane is good. All right, guys, there's the lowers. Again, at range, I've got 30 plus a little bit of an eighth. I like to leave a little bit of room on that. 24 inches for a dishwasher. Again, I got to screw the countertops down, cut the hole for the sink. I'm gonna not film screwing the countertops down. It's just me crawling up in the cabinets and putting some screws through those blocks of wood. No sense in making you watch me be crawled up in a cabinet, but again, got those done. Screwing them down, cutting the hole for the sink. I've still got to screw this countertop down as well. Putting up the trim, and then that's it. I got to put crown, light rail, toe kick, and then quarter round around the base. When it comes to laying my sink, I will put down tape where the sink will generally lay at. Then I will take my actual sink, put it on my countertop, measure off the outside, measure off the wall, get everything centered with it, trace around the outside of it, and then I measure from the outside of the sink into the attachment points, see what that distance is, and then I basically come back around and make another line. That's going to be my cut line. And you can see here, I don't need to cut a circle out. I can leave all this corner here that allows for more beef for that sink to sit on, so I'm gonna do that. So now it's a matter of, I know that I'm doing that relative dimensioning instead of trying to take measurements and then, you know, keep coming back with measurements. I like using the actual product itself. And this sink actually didn't even come with a template. You know, some of them come with templates for you to use to put on top of here. This one did not have that. So now I'm going to drill a hole through here, use my probably jigsaw to cut out the bulk of it. And then this back side, you can usually never fit a jigsaw in there, but that's where I'll use my oscillating tool just to cut that out. But I like to go ahead and take my suction cup and put it on and get it sucked. That way I've got somewhere to hold it once I'm making that last cut. Nice and snug, doesn't shift left or right. You can see I'm right on my exact drawing lines, so really like that fit. I always like to kind of stay inside my line. I even come back in and shave a little bit out if I have to. I like to try to keep as much countertop as I can under this lip because you don't have a lot of room for any to start with. So it's always nice to try to leave as much as possible. And now there's no way for somebody to not put that sink in the right location. It only goes in one place. Hey guys, editing the video last night, I realized I basically didn't have any footage. I lost it from where I put the sink in and everything after that, which wasn't a whole lot of work left after I got done doing that. All I did after that was install the crown molding. There was going to be a light rail. Customer decided against it. They didn't really like the look of it because it was broke up in so many different places. And then I installed toe kick and quarter round. The only thing really different, I do on the miter or on the crown molding, it's the same difference as whenever I install that. As far as what you missed, I basically cut everything. I CA glue it in the corners, pin nail it, and then I put everything, you know, into place in whole pieces. So basically I'll build that entire thing, slide it on instead of doing it a piece at a time. That keeps your corners from opening up. The only other thing I do is I typically will cut some 2x4s on an angle, screw them to the top of the cabinet in a few spots, put that as backing. And also it gives me a place to shoot some nails up here in the upper part too. That keeps that a little bit more secure, less likely to move over time. But again, wasn't a whole lot left. I just hate that I didn't get any footage of any of that. But just curious, a couple questions I'd like to ask of you guys who do this kind of stuff, just for my own reference, and maybe there's a better way. When you cut out for the sink on a laminate countertop like this, has the built-in backsplash, what do you use to cut it out? You know, sometimes if I don't have that backsplash, I'll just use a router, and then that, because I can scoot this countertop, you know, in and out away from the wall. But most of the time, the plate of whatever saws that it is, whether it be a jigsaw or whatever that you might use, it ends up, you know, it won't let you get close enough to this to cut the line where you need to. So just curious what kind of method you people use that have done that. We can all learn from that if there's a better way. And then also curious to know if you guys install stuff like this for a living. What do you think that should run? I think we could share that with people on the channel as well whenever we do jobs like this, and whenever I do something, and you let me know what maybe it possibly ran in your area to do something like this, so we can get a rough idea. I think that's always a hard thing to price things. I typically just price things by how many days I think it would take, or how many hours, or things like that. There's not necessarily a specific job price for a lot of things. But just curious to know if you're willing to share that in the comments. Make sure and share that below as well. But again, appreciate each and every one of you. Stinks that I didn't get that footage, but hope that at least what I did get was maybe useful, or at least enjoyable to watch in some form or fashion. But hope that you guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.